But I really started to get it in my head, like, have I plateaued? Like, is this all that YouTube has to offer me, you know? So it was right when I reached 10,000 subscribers, I had so many people from my past tell me, 10,000, that's not a lot. Like that's not that big of a deal. Really? And so, yes. And I really had to start taking notice then on who I was surrounding myself with and who is going to bring me that confidence boost, that mindset that I was talking to you about that you always put me in.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. I have a huge treat for you today. I'm very excited and grateful to have the opportunity to pick the brain of a unicorn. And I mean, really, she's a unicorn. This smart, driven young lady has exploded her social media presence, and more specifically, YouTube, where she has blown past the 100,000 subscriber mark, which is the magical number, and is now sitting at 165,000 subs with no end in sight. Now then, with all those subscribers, she's entered the world of social media influencer. So with all that said, I would like to wish a belated happy 23rd birthday to my friend, the Lauren Norris.
Thank you. I'm so excited to do this. I have been on numerous podcasts, but this definitely is like the one I've been prepping for. I want to say I've been prepping for, but like I definitely haven't. But like I'm really looking forward to it. I feel like whenever we've ever had like any conversation, it's always been very encouraging, very like you always put me in a mindset that I always want to be in. And so that's why like I'm really looking forward to this interview today.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, let's just get right to it. Like I'd like to just start with unpacking what actually happened. Okay. I know that you started your YouTube channel and then you exploded. So just take us through that.
Yeah. So I have always been like very heavy on social media. I guess it's because like my generation and like how I grew up is like I grew up on YouTube. You know, like anything and everything I learned, like makeup, fashion tips, it was always on YouTube. Right. And so I guess that was always like my safe place too. Like whenever I was having a bad day or like I come from a broken household. So like any day like that, like I would always go on YouTube, you know? So it was very heavy in my life already. And I always looked at YouTubers and I was like, that's so cool. You know, like they document their life and I'm so fascinated with their life, you know, and I always wanted to do that, but I was always one of those people like, oh, well, maybe next year, like maybe next time. And I had to get myself to the mindset where I was like, when is that day going to come? Like, when am I actually going to step up and be like, you know what, today is the day that I feel confident enough or whatever. Right. And so I started thinking about it and I was like, I need to take that first step and I need to not care what anyone else thinks. And I just need to do what I think Lauren should do. And so that's really why I started. And I wanted it to be a hobby. I didn't want to go into it and be like, oh, like I need to make money. I need to get this amount of followers. I need to do this. Like I wanted it to be fun because I felt like if I started with that mindset, it would only lead to like more happiness if I was already happy doing it.
Yeah. That's good.
So I started it, or like, I guess I started my YouTube, whenever I was going to college. So I was an older student going to college. I didn't start college until I was 21. So I was a non-traditional freshman. And I was like, I want to look back on my life and see, you know, like me moving into my dorm. I want to see me getting ready for date parties with my sorority. And so that really was what I was going to be focusing in on. I guess like my niche was like college content. So like moving into my dorm, what sorority did I get into? You know, like what were my friends like whenever I was in college? And so that's really what I focused on going into YouTube first and foremost.
That's awesome. So you're going, so what year was that? Do you know?
2019.
2019.
Yeah.
So here we go. What month? So
I started it August 2019 was my YouTube channel.
August 2019. Okay. So when did the big boom happen? And
August 2020 was
August
like
2020.
The big boom, I guess, because I was slowly growing. I was getting really down on myself, to be honest. Like,
really?
Yes, absolutely. Like there were days where I just wanted to quit. I didn't see like any brighter ending, I guess, for my YouTube. I was like, it's just going to plateau. And actually a lot of people told me that too. they're like, you've plateaued. Like, you're not growing anymore. Like, you're not doing something right. And I don't know if it was just because like they wanted to get to me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, maybe they saw that potential and they didn't want me to reach that potential.
Right.
But I really started to get it in my head, like, have I plateaued? Like, is this all that YouTube has to offer me? You know? So it was right when I reached 10,000 subscribers, I had so many people from my past tell me, 10,000, that's not a lot. Like, that's not that big of a deal. Really? And so, yes. And I really had to start taking notice then on who I was surrounding myself with and who is going to bring me that confidence boost, that mindset that I was talking to you about that you always put me in, like making conscious efforts of that. So whenever I hit 10K, I was comparing myself to other YouTubers that had millions of subscribers that I never should have done in the first place. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? Like, this isn't growing. This isn't doing anything. And there was just something still in the back of my mind saying, you can do this. Like, don't give up, keep pushing and seeing where it can lead you. Because you never know, if you quit one day, the next day might be the best day of your life. You know? That's right. So I just kept holding on to that and just kept going through it. Where I had reached 20,000 subscribers at the end of July. And I think I was like big time. I was like, oh, like I'm a YouTuber now, like for so long, I thought people were going to look at me and be like, oh, she just tries to do YouTube. Like they weren't actually looking at me like, oh, she's a YouTuber. But once I hit that mark, I guess that gave me like validation in my mind that people would take me more seriously when I was recording or if I was out and about. So that was end of July. And the 2nd of August, I moved into my sorority house and it was just another day for me. I was just vlogging it, I wanted to look back on me moving into Pi-Fi. So I started my vlog, didn't think anything of it, had that vlog up within a week. And I was expecting that video to hit maybe like 50,000, 100,000 views because I knew it was going to be more of a popular video because my videos at that time were averaging probably like 5 to 10,000 per video. So I was thinking it was going to blow up a little bit, but within a matter of like a month, it had hit 1 million views. So like it blew up very quickly where I went from 20,000 the beginning of August to 100,000 at the beginning of September subscribers.
Right.
So that video really kind of boosted it really quickly.
So why, I noticed you said that you thought this one was going to get a lot of views. Why did you think that?
Whenever I was looking up, I guess, different YouTubers in my same niche, I guess, like their move-in videos were always their most popular or like move-out videos. And especially stuff with sorority, I knew that if I did something with my sorority, I knew that it would probably be a better or like higher viewed video just from research. It was just what I knew. And I knew that from my channel, at that point, I think my highest viewed video was me moving into my college dorm. So I thought people like watching me move in. And obviously I learned from that move-in vlog. Like I look back at it now and I'm like, oh, this is bad.
And that was your first video, right?
Yes.
The move-in.
Yes.
Okay.
So after that, I knew that move-in videos were like very targeted, but it was very hard to come between because you're not always moving into somewhere new. So you know, like I wanted to make it the best possible. So I did take more time with it, but I never expected it. Like now it's up to 2.5 million views and it's still getting views. Like now I still get comments on it and it's crazy.
So how do you handle, how many comments were on that video?
Oh, I don't even know.
How do you handle that? Like you exploded in comments, I'm sure, from 10,000, 20,000, boom, 100,000.
Yes, it was very different. The growth was so insane that no one could keep up with it. Like one of my friends, she's in my sorority and she does YouTube as well. And so she couldn't keep up with my growth. And so we went to, went to go have a coffee date, but she surprised me with a cookie cake and it was going to say 50K. Well, by the time she went to go pick up the cake, I had already reached 60K. So she had to call and be like, hey, like, can you please go change this? Like, she's just grown so quickly. No one was ready for it whatsoever. Yeah. The comments, that video, obviously, if it's reaching that many people, there's going to be a lot of people that don't like me.
Sure.
You know, like, you know, whether that be 10, 20, or half of the video that's like, oh, I'm not really vibing with her. Right. I wasn't prepared for that. Yeah. Because my videos that were reaching 5,000, 10,000, if it was a good video, you know, the comments, they were pretty much nice. They were good, like, you know, encouraging. You might have like a bad apple every once in a while, but it was never like hardcore where I was not ready for that amount of people to be like, we don't like you as like a group, where that took some getting used to for sure with all of it.
How did you deal with that? How did you deal with that?
I didn't know how to. I had never been in the situation to deal with that. I have always had very, very thin skin. Like anything would make me upset. You know, like in high school, like if I was like talking out of turn and like a teacher would like be like, hey, you need to be quiet, I would go to the bathroom and I would sulk because I was like, I always wanted to be that perfect person and I wanted everyone to like me.
Right.
Where it was like, I wasn't used to it when people didn't like me. And I just worked so hard on that where I had to take a lot of self-reflection time and a lot of time by myself to be like, not everyone is going to like you. Not everyone is going to like what you're putting out. But as long as you're staying true to yourself and you are putting out content that you think is worth it,
yes,
then it doesn't matter in the long run with those people.
Right, right. I'm sure that's just a small percentage, but man, that can just tear you up.
It hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts a lot. And there were a lot of days, like I would tell myself, like, if I was really getting into like the mean comments or anything, I would tell myself, you can be sad for 1 hour. You can cry, you can eat whatever you want to eat. But after this hour, we're not going to think about it. We're not going to ever think about it ever again, you know?
Awesome.
So I give myself time. Like I want to validate my feelings. I want to know, like, I can feel sad. Like people saying bad things about you, that's sad. Like that's not fun. And so it's like, I want to validate my feelings. I don't want to like hold them in and like potentially like kind of just building up like over time. Right. So I do take time out to feel what I'm feeling with any type of comment or anything, whether that be happy or sad.
That's good. That's good. That's great advice right there too. No kidding. What were you doing up to that video? Like the preceding months to that video, maybe the first or the couple of months right before that.
Okay.
What were you doing?
So right before that video, COVID, like the big global pandemic hit, and I was sent home from my dorm and I was at home all day. And it was, I don't think I hit 10,000 before the pandemic. I think it was like in the middle of the pandemic that I hit my 10,000. So I was still trying to get to that first milestone, I guess. Whenever the pandemic hit, I was not making a lot from YouTube. So YouTube is my job. I guess I should have explained that. Like that is my source of income. They pay me. Right. And so during the pandemic and those months leading up to it, I mean, I was getting $100. Like,
so YouTube was your job when you were at 10,000 subscribers?
Yes. So whenever I started my channel, I had gotten monetized. So that means that I was eligible to get a paycheck from like Google or YouTube. Yeah. So, and a lot of people are like, that's unheard of. Like not that many people hit those marks within a month. Mm-hmm. So I think I got my first paycheck within like 2 months of my first video. And so like it fluctuates. Like you really don't know what you're going to be earning every month. It's like very heavily fluctuated on like what you do that month and like what kind of videos perform well. So like the months leading up to it, I mean, I was making $100 a month. That was it. And so I was like, what am I doing wrong? That was in the time where I was like, I'm doing something wrong. Cause obviously I can't survive on $100 a month. And so I was putting so much time and effort into it where I had to think about like, okay, what am I spending my most time on? Is it worth spending that much time on it? And what else do I need to do? And how do I need to figure that into my schedule? Right. So it was, obviously everything had turned on to online. So I didn't have any classes to go to. I obviously didn't have a job because the world was shut down. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I need to take advantage of this time because not everyone can be at their home and make this their job. So why don't I just take advantage of it? So I woke up every morning of the pandemic at 6 a.m. and I was treating YouTube like my full-time job when it wasn't paying me like a full-time job. Awesome. So I obviously was like, this is going to suck. And because I am very big on like, what am I making per hour? Like, is this worth it? Should I just get a job at like Starbucks or Target? Like, but I had to put that aside and I was like, I know I'm doing something right. I just have to get to a point where I'm getting, I guess, like paid for all of my time right. So I put together a bigger like schedule for myself. So instead of uploading 2 times a week, I was going to be uploading 3 times a week because in my mind, that's 4 or 5 new videos more than what I was putting out. Yes. Gives me 5 more chances for people to see me. Yep. So I really made an effort to make sure like, okay, I'm working from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. every single night. And I'm doing something, whether that be like doing my to-do list, editing, creating new video ideas, whatever I needed to do to prep for my next step.
Right. That is, so all that work, so you're basically honing your skills. You're getting better as an editor. better at posting and title making and thumbnails. And so you're studying and just putting in the work. And then when that moving video hit, like it all came together.
Yes.
Totally amazing.
All of it
Totally
really
amazing.
did turn off, like, I guess, pay off, I guess, in the long run with everything.
Yeah. Well, then once that video hit, then did all the videos in your channel start coming up?
Yes. Because once I guess me personally, whenever I find someone on YouTube that I like, I binge a lot of their videos. Like, I find one, I'm like, oh, I like them. And I'll watch, their last one or like some older ones. And I'm guessing that's what a lot of people did with me, because I realized those videos that only had 5,000 views started to grow to 10 or 15,000 views. And people wanted to see more of me from that video. So yeah. And then I guess the next few videos after that, people were just so heightened on like that move-in video, where a ton of my videos, I believe following after it, were a lot of sorority content that went with the move-in video. So like if they found the move-in video fascinating, they probably found the next few videos fascinating as well. Gotcha.
So the real question is why? So I think you kind of already touched on it a little bit, but really, why did you start the whole YouTube thing? Was it just...
Okay, this is going to sound weird. I have always felt like I had something in me to make myself something. Like, I don't know why, but like even when, like as a younger girl, like I would watch Hannah Montana and I'm like, I'm going to be Hannah Montana one day. Like for real, I would sit down, and for some reason I always felt like I had that potential. I was like, I can do what she's doing, like, and I think that's why I went so heavy on acting, thankfully, because I met your daughter doing that. But it was like, I always felt like I had a bigger purpose than this small town I was in. And I always wanted to see what I can do with it, but I never had the confidence, I guess, as a little girl to kind of see that. So once I had the opportunity and I had, I guess, a change of scenery going to the University of Alabama, no one knew me there, and the people who did, they were, I guess, juniors, maybe seniors now, because I was an older freshman, so no one knew me there. It was kind of a clean start, and I was like, I need to do what I've always wanted to do my whole entire life and prove myself that I can do I've always wanted to do.
That's awesome. It charges me up. Here I am, a 50-year-old guy, but man, I'm telling you, that right there is real. That is so good, just to step out there and just do it.
Yes.
Just do it. Know you can, and then just do it. Okay. What kind of equipment did you use? What do you start with?
So, I think this is so funny. I don't remember what exact camera I used, but it was like my mom's hand-me-down like DSLR like camera, like definitely a camera suburban moms like used to like take pictures like their son's soccer games or something. It had no autofocus, was not meant for videoing, like literally strictly taking pictures. But I felt like this was going to be my best shot. Like I have it with me. I took it without my mom knowing. I literally packed it in my college stuff and I didn't tell her I had it because I'm like, oh, like she's going to take it away from me if she knows I have it. So I used that for like a lot of my videos. But since it didn't autofocus, I would have to sit there and then like move it and like try and focus it. So like so many clips from like my past videos, they weren't in focus. They were so bad. But if I wasn't using that heavy camera, I was using my iPhone. And I started realizing, I was like, my video quality is bad. Like, this is not good. And in my mind, I was like, how do I expect myself to grow if I'm not going to invest into my company or like my business is what I was trying to view it as. Right. And so I obviously never grew up around like family who were entrepreneurs or had their own business or anything. So I had no idea because like, a lot of people in my family were like, no, you don't need to spend that money. Like you need to save that money. You don't need to spend it. Right. So I ended up buying my first camera with my first paycheck from YouTube.
Wow.
I literally went to college with like $100 in my bank account. And then my first paycheck was like $600. And I was like, oh, like, this is a lot of money to me, like, Cha-ching. Yeah, $600. So that night it was 2 a.m. It had just hit my bank account and I was on Google, like, what is the best vlog camera? And then I went on Amazon and I spent my whole entire paycheck on this camera.
That's great.
And I mean, it paid off. And I just kept telling myself like, it's going to be worth it in the long run. Like, I guess that's like a really big tip is you have to invest to grow. and to make yourself, like how was I expecting my channel to grow when my video quality was going to be the exact same? I was still using my iPhone. I knew I had potential to do this. And so I just had to give myself the equipment, which my mom kicked me for. She came to town that weekend after, and I pulled out the camera and I was vlogging, and she was like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Oh, it's my camera." And she's like, "How did you get the money to buy a camera?" And whenever I told her I spent my first paycheck, she was like, "Well, what? Are you sure? Like, you think you can do this?" And I'm like, "Just watch me. Like, yes, I can do this."
And by the way, you can have your camera back.
Right. Yeah, I did give her camera back at that point.
That's good. So that's the equipment you have now?
No, I did recently upgrade. Once I hit that million video or whatever, I was like, you know what? I need to invest into my business.
Once again.
Yes. And because I knew that my video quality could be better. Yeah. And I had the funds at that time to, like, I guess, get better equipment. So now I have the Canon M50 is what I vlog with now.
Right. Very cool.
Yes.
Very cool. So do you remember what that model of that other camera was?
Yes. My first camera was the Canon G7X Mark II.
G7X Mark II.
Yes. And apparently to Google, it was like the number one, like, I guess like trainee vlog camera for everyone. And I feel like everyone else that I've talked to, that was always their first vlog camera was that camera. Yeah.
Very cool. How do you do your audio? How do you get your audio clean? Are you using just the camera mic, or are you mic, or what?
I always just use my camera mic for the most part because a lot of my videos are vlogs. So a lot of the time, which this might sound bad to like camera owners, but like I'll be vlogging and then I'll just put my camera like in my purse. So like I don't have time or anything like to take apart a mic or anything like that. So it pretty much is just the camera audio that I use.
Well, it sounds good. I mean, it sounds very clean from just listening to the videos.
Thank you.
So speaking of throwing my camera in my purse, how about shooting habits? Like, what do you do? Like, how do you keep the camera with you? Do you shoot all during the day and then cut it together? How do you do that? Yeah,
so it depends on the video. A lot of my videos are day in my life or type of vlogs where I'm just video logging my whole entire day. Mm-hmm. So whether that be me going to shop or going to see my friends or even just staying at home, I just normally keep my camera out and I will just vlog my whole entire day. Anything that happens, I will just video record it. For more sit down videos, I have a tripod. I put my camera on my tripod, but I have to schedule in time to record the video because a lot of my sit down videos, I would have like an hour and a half of footage, but it would only make a 10-minute video, you know? And, you obviously would have to put makeup on and get your hair done and pick out a top and everything like that. Right. So, it just depends on the video and what I was looking for that video.
Right. Well, that is perfect segue to the editing question where you're shooting hours and editing down too.
Yes.
So tell them about your editing.
So I still use iMovie, and so many people are so shocked when I tell them that I use iMovie, but honestly, I'm just cheap and I don't want to buy like the expensive like editing anything or another.
It does a fantastic job. I mean, the ones that I've seen, they're
Thank you.
fantastic.
I feel like I have become sort of an expert on iMovie. Like anything that I can make iMovie look more bougie, like I definitely have learned how to do it. But yeah, editing definitely takes me my longest amount of time. It depends on the video because some videos, if I vlog, sometimes I'll only have 30 minutes of footage because I'm just randomly video recording throughout the day. Mm-hmm. So it definitely depends on the video, but I would say probably my editing takes me anywhere from 4 hours to 8 to 10 hours, depending on the video.
Per video?
Per video.
That's quite a bit. That's awesome.
It's a lot.
There's a lot more to it, I guess, than a lot of folks think.
Oh, absolutely. It's more than what I thought. Getting into it, I didn't know it would take that long, but.
Right. Well, once you get them finished, how are you posting them? What's your schedule like? And what have you wound up with?
Yes. So I'm starting off 2021 only doing 2 uploads a week. I feel like that's going to be better for my school schedule because I'm a full-time student.
Right.
So I have to take in time to be a student. And I really want to focus in more like on my Instagram content and my TikTok content to possibly grow them more. And I feel like taking off just one video, like it makes people look forward to your videos too when you don't have like constant like videos. It was great whenever I was growing, having those 3 videos. I think it really did help my growth. But at the point that I am now, I know that I can put out 2 amazing videos instead of like 1 amazing video and then like 2 kind of like mediocre videos. So now it's going to be just 2 uploads a week that I'm doing. I feel like I'm missing part of your question.
No, that's
Okay.
it. That was it. The timing and is there a particular time that you go that, early morning, late at night?
Yeah. So at first I was just posting whenever. I didn't think about it, and I didn't think about like YouTube algorithm or like when it was going to be best for my subscribers. And I started to really ask my following what they wanted to see.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like, I make these videos for me, sure, but it's for other people's enjoyment. So I always ask them, like at the start of every month, I'm like, what videos do you want to see this month? Or like, what videos have I done before that you want me to redo or anything like that? And it started whenever I made a schedule for my YouTube. I asked them like, what days do you watch your videos? What time of the day do you want my videos to be done? Where it started to go a Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 3 p.m. That just seemed the best for people, I guess, that were watching my videos in different countries, states, whatever. It was just 3 p.m. Central Time.
Right.
So now we're just moving to Monday and Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central Time.
Wow. So you have a hard and fast schedule. Like you're launching. People are waiting for that show to come on at 3 p.m.
Yes.
on Monday and Wednesday.
Yes. And
so
then
it holds your feet to the fire.
absolutely. Yeah, you have to make sure. And then I started doing this after that video blew up because I always want to stay connected with my followers. I don't want them to think that I don't care about them or I don't ever think about them. I think about them every single day. And so I started doing this thing where on Fridays, it would be my live premiere day, where I would put it up where like YouTube would start kind of showing it on people's feeds about like 10, 11 a.m., where whenever 3 p.m. hit, I could live chat with my viewers that were watching that video. So if they had any questions or if they wanted to say, oh, I love this video, I always do that every single Friday. I go on at 3 p.m. and I just chat for the whole entire video and just talk to my followers.
So you do this now or you did that?
I did that starting in, I think, August or September of last year, and I've just followed it through where every Friday people are always looking forward, getting on there at 2 or 2:30, like waiting for me to get on just to chat.
So how does that work if you launch Monday and Wednesday, then you can premiere? That means you can all just get together and watch it together on Friday.
Yeah, so it's a new video that comes out on Friday.
Okay.
That no one else has seen, and it's really cute, like how YouTube does it. Like they do a little countdown with it, and the chat is like on the side of the video. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I just started doing that just because I would want my favorite YouTuber to do that. I'm like, oh, that would be so cool to be able to actually talk to them like real time, which not a lot of people get to do with their followers. Right. So that's something that I think I do that not a lot of people do, because it's hard to manage that time and like make sure you're at your computer at 3 p.m. Right. But I love that part of my channel, and that's a lot of my followers like it too.
That's very cool. Okay, so have you come up with any, you look on YouTube and the big bunch of keywords is a YouTube algorithm secrets and how to blah, blah, and all that. In all your journeys through YouTube so far, do you have any like algorithm secrets?
Yes. So I obviously did a lot of research on that whenever I was starting YouTube, because anyone who starts YouTube, you're kind of just lost and you're kind of just like leading yourself. So I watched a ton of videos on like YouTube secrets or algorithm secrets. And honestly, there's not going to be one video that's going to tell you everything that's going to fit your videos and like your style. So you have to take like bits and pieces from those videos. But something that I have noticed from me, from my friends, anyone else, it's consistency. And so you have to have that consistency for your channel. So like I said, I made an upload schedule, and I don't know why, but YouTube likes it. I feel like whenever you upload the same day, the same time, every single time of the week or whatever. Right. And that's like my biggest tip that I give anybody, that anyone messages me like, oh, I'm wanting to start a YouTube. What's your biggest, tip? And it's that you have to be consistent. You have to be on top of your stuff where you can put out that for the algorithm. For some reason, they like consistency.
Yeah. I think that's probably the number one thing. That's the number one thing really in anything. If you're going to tackle anything, you're going to have to practice, man. And you're going to have to show up for the games. So
right.
That's really awesome. Okay. Like I'd said earlier, success leaves clues. So I like to ask this of everybody that I get a chance to talk with. And just be pretty fast, but what's your morning routine like?
Morning routine, I normally wake up pretty early. I would like to start my day pretty early. I always get a cup of coffee. I feel like it always just like motivates me like to get my stuff done for the day. And I pretty much I go ahead and write my to-do list really quickly. I want to see what my day has in store for it. Know like what I can get accomplished. I always like to do like little mini accomplishments first, or even if it's just making my bed, just having like that first accomplishment to make your, like, like
I love that.
That way you feel more put together if you already know that you've already accomplished little things here and there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. So then, what about your physical fitness? Do you work out? Do you?
Yeah, that is not a thing that I focus on whatsoever. I want to, like, that's one of the things that I really want to focus in on 2021 is like working on my physical health.
Yeah.
It's hard now because of COVID. Like, I'm still allowed to go back to the university, but you have to wear masks. Right. Like if you're running outside even. Right. And I don't want to do that. So,
well, and I noticed that you're, you say pretty physically active, just moving.
Yes.
A lot of times, the couple of videos I watched, you were walking in the rain for 30 minutes to class or something. That's like, wow.
Yeah, I feel like walks, I do walk. Like I sometimes, especially whenever I'm back on campus, I feel more safe walking. Right. So like I will walk like after dinner or like maybe early in the morning after my coffee if I do have time before I start doing something else. Yeah. Walks always clear my head. So I do that very once in a while.
Very good. Very good. Okay, what about your diet? How do you eat?
So since I still am a student on campus and I live on campus, I do have like my sorority meal plan. So it's kind of like what they feed me is just what I eat. Right. They do pretty like clean eating and everything, but I don't get hard on myself for like eating a cookie. Like I definitely eat cookies like whenever I want. Right. I don't have like a set diet or anything, but I do watch what I eat a little bit. Like I want to eat cleaner. So like if I have the option between like vegetables or like fries, I would more apt to go to the vegetables. Right. But it's not something I do every single day.
Got you. And you're not a junk food or bags of chips and candies and
depends on the day. If it's one of those days where I'm like, oh, you can cry for an hour, definitely have like a bag of chips with that cry session.
That's awesome. Okay, what about your sleep? Are you a light sleeper? You go, a few hours a night? Are you a 8 to 10 hour?
I am a really big night owl. So I stay up. I feel like my best work is done at night. So I will stay up editing until 3, 4 in the morning sometimes. Sometimes I don't get any sleep at all. It's how I've always been though. Right. So I don't focus in like, oh, I need to get my 8 hours of sleep. Otherwise I'm a zombie. Like sometimes I work best on that little sleep, as weird as that sounds.
Nope. That sounds perfectly logical. Yeah, to me, because that's my style.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a night owl too. And that was answered. The last question was when do you do your best work?
Yes, it is definitely late at night. And my roommate, because I am still in my sorority house, I am here for like another semester. So she is one that she likes to go to bed, like be in bed by 10 p.m., like wake up early. Like, yes, she is always one of those people that like she has to get her sleep and I'm not. And I'm always up late at night, making new video ideas. And a lot of the time that's why I don't sleep. It's because so many things are in my head like, oh, I can do this. Oh, I should do this. And I just start like writing notes or doing whatever. So.
Right. That's awesome. Okay, got just a couple more questions for you.
Okay.
If you could go back and visit Lauren, first episode, first pick up the camera, Lauren, what advice would you give her?
I wouldn't have any advice. I would just tell her to keep going, like you're doing the right thing. Yeah. Like sometimes you just need that person to tell you like you're doing good. And I feel like that would be the only thing is like, you're doing good, sweetie.
Just keep it up.
Yes.
And as far as like now with all the influence, like I believe everyone's a leader. You're going to lead somebody, whether it's your family or your friends or whatever. You now have a platform to where you really are in a leadership position. So to all the people that really look up to you, is there something that you would say to them or that you would, reach out to them if they were just starting something, maybe even YouTube channel or whatever they're embarking on?
Yeah. So a quote that I found that I guess kind of was the quote of my channel was be the girl that just went for it. And I love that quote because it's like, I want to be that girl. You know, I want to be the girl that just went for it, whether it be my dreams or just anything that I want to just go for it. And I feel like that's the biggest thing. Like, just be that person that just went for it.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah. No regrets.
Yes.
No regrets.
Exactly.
Don't look back and say, I wish I had a.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That is the biggest thing. And it's like,
is.
so many people view YouTube as either you fail it or you succeed. And it's like, what is failure? Is failure your hard work and you doing all these videos the way that you think? Like, what is success and what is failure in YouTube? And I feel like so many people, that's what stops them from making their YouTube channel, is they don't want to fail. But what they realize is that you cannot fail if you do that.
That's so true. That's good. That's good.
There
You ought to be
you
a
go.
preacher, man. That sounds good. Okay, so how do people find you online? Where are you and all that stuff?
Yeah, so on YouTube, I am just under youtube.com/Lauren Norris. And then on my TikTok and my Instagram, it is the Lauren Norris. And then I also have a blog that is called The Whimsy Magnolia.
The Whimsy Magnolia.
Yes.
I've got one more question. Where did that come from?
My head, I just thought it looked and sounded cute. And so I asked Taylor, I was making my blog. I said, does this sound cute? She said, well, why did you pick that? I said, it just sounded good. She said, it doesn't have anything to do with anything. I said, exactly. That's why I like it.
Very awesome. Very awesome. I can't think of a better way to close. Man, that is so good. You are so beautiful outside and inside. And I wish you the very, very best.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on.